Communities are remembering the victims of the Nova Scotia violence. And as we've been talking about grieving, finding a way to grieve while they have to stay apart in this time of COVID-19. No more than 5 people to a gathering. But still, as is always the case in times of tragedy, people turning to their faith for comfort, all faith communities. But we're going to focus for a couple of minutes on the Muslim community because today marks the start of Ramadan. And for people who will be observing that very holy month, things are going to look very different. We have a special guest with us this morning in Halifax, Imam Abdallah Yousri, who is the Imam for the Ummah Mosque. And there he is in Halifax in the mosque. And it is a sobering sight to see you there alone, sir, and no one there around you, as it's been for weeks now, I know, but sad to see. But very good to see you. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you, Heather, for having me.
I have many things on my mind to ask you, Imam Yousri, and I want to begin, if we could, in that I introduced you with the violence that we've seen in Nova Scotia. What are your reflections on what has happened in Nova Scotia over the weekend, and what are you hearing from the members of your congregation?
Yes, it's been a very tough year for our community, and I think for all Nova Scotians. You remember that throughout last year, we were dealing with the effect of the Barho family tragedy. The Syrian family, they lost their 7 kids in the fire in Halifax last year. So it's been for us a very tough year. And now we are dealing with another crisis and mourning another loss.
And are there any direct connections within your mosque members or within the community to anyone who perished in the weekend?
I'm not aware of any direct connections, but there is a couple friends and community members. They used to work with some of the victims, but it is not direct connections from the community, from our community.
But still, everyone in the province has been affected and touched by this.
Yeah.
And your response, I know you have a reputation for this, is to move to act and to bring people together. Now, of course, normally at a time like this, one would expect to see a big interfaith service or some form of interfaith prayer service with large numbers of the community gathering together. That's not possible right now. So what have you organized instead?
Yes, a group of faith leaders, Reverend Russ Day and Reverend Rusty, and a group of other faith leaders, they step in and they put together a online vigil or an interfaith video in which we say a few words to support the community, the families of the victims, and share it with everyone. As we cannot physically be there, so we were thinking to organize or to record this online video and broadcast it online for everyone, as to show our support and to try our best to support our congregation mentally and spiritually during this tough time and dealing with this devastated tragedy.
And that's coming out today, later today, I understand, right?
Yes.
So we will expect to have that release once the Premier, I understand his message is the last to be recorded. So once Premier McNeil records, we will have that released. How do you hope it helps, Imam Yousri?
I think it's a sign of care and sign of support to the community as we used to come together during these tough times. And we as Muslims, we experienced this support and outpouring support from the community when we had this tragedy as well before, and all Nova Scotians they were supporting the community. So we just said, let's do whatever in our hands and give this sign of support and share it with our communities and with everyone.
We will look forward to seeing it later on today. Of course, COVID-19 is not just affecting how we grieve, it is affecting how we celebrate. And as of tonight, you begin the very holy month of Ramadan, of which a key part are those family gatherings at the end of the day, the breaking of the fast, the community celebratory prayers. Things are going to be very different this year. How difficult is it going to be, do you think, within the community not to have those large gatherings?
Yes, it is going to be very different. And that's why we started a bit early to have a kind of community thinking, brainstorming, how we can switch everything online or have different ideas. So tonight we will start with the first night of Ramadan. We were thinking that we will broadcast the prayer from the mosque online with just the employees of the mosque. And at the same time, tomorrow is the first day of Ramadan. We gonna provide as we used to do. We used to gather for iftar meals. We're gonna prepare these meals and allow the community to drive through, or we deliver it door to door, so that we continue to provide these meals and support the community during these tough times. We were thinking that suspending our services like the iftar meals, the free meals we provide, the Ramadan boxes we provide, suspending this altogether would be very difficult for the community, especially during these special circumstances we live in right now, when there is more demand and more worry within the community. This is regarding the kind of gatherings for the iftar and for the prayers.
That's wonderful. Yes, at the end of the day's fast, those iftar meals where people come together and share that, and as I said, celebrate. So you'll be offering that,
Yes.
and some of the religious components online to make up for the fact that it won't be very much at all
Yes.
what it usually is.
Yeah.
You mentioned these are
Yeah.
difficult times. There'll be difficult times for people in terms of the jobs that they have, your community members, and of course not having the traditions, and so much sadness because of COVID-19 and of the violence. What in general is your message to the members of your community today?
My message to our members in the community and to everyone, this is a good time for us to reflect, have more time to for ourselves, for our souls, for our families. We always say that we can worship God under all circumstances, and during these tough times, we need to show show solidarity with everyone and support each other and care for one another, especially during this tough time we live in and experience right now.
Imam Abdallah Yousri, I thank you very much for your thoughts and for your time today, and we'll be following today and looking forward to that release of that interfaith video when it comes out online today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you so much.